You were born in a stolen nest. Your tribe found a giant abandoned egg. While the others wanted to make an omelet, your mom decided to hide you inside. When the Triceratops came back, it adopted you. You suckled from a 2-ton female and learned to walk by dodging stomps. Conclusion: you grew up thinking you had horns. You thought roaring was a universal language. You didn't speak words. You roared loudly, constantly. You believed it connected you to dinosaurs. It worked, until you roared at a T-Rex mid-meal. Result: you lost part of your butt and all of your dignity. Your first mount ended with you flying. You tied vines to a sleeping pteranodon and jumped on its back like a flying horse. It woke up in full panic. It flew, held a grudge, threw you off a cliff, straight into a spiky nest. You survived, but your spine now looks like a question. Mark, you tried feeding a Stegosaurus vegetables. You thought he was vegetarian and polite. You gently offered a carrot. He stared at you with dead eyes, then swung around and smacked you with his war club tail. You flew straight into the stone. Age, literally. You made a saddle from a relative's skin. Your uncle was trampled by an ankylosaurus while pooping. You saw an opportunity, upcycled his skin, sewed it with nerves, softened it with spit, and created the world's first dino saddle, aimed at Uncle's strap. You rode proudly. For meters, until you were launched into a tree. You tried taming a velociraptor. You thought it was just an angry chicken. Offered it fish, fruit, even your lunch. It accepted, then ate the fish, your hut, and tried to eat your foot. You spent the rest of the week sleeping in a tree, trembling and praying not to be deserted. You invented the first dinosaur race. You gathered for Dilophosaurs with coconut shell muzzles, made a finish line out of painted bones. At go, they ran. Toward the audience, result chaos, 3 eaten, 1 technical tie, and a new rule. Never bet on Dilophosaurs. You tried teaching an Allosaurus tricks. First, sit. It sat. On a wild boar, then roll. It rolled. Through your campfire. When you said play dead, it just stared and lunged. You played dead. It worked. You spent 7 hours lying in mud with a leaf on your head and your heart in your mouth. You built the first prehistoric stable, made of bamboo, leaves, and hope. Inside, 1 ankylosaurus, 1 iguanodon, and 1 you named Cletosaurus. At night you heard noises. In the morning, only 1 wall remained, and a trail of footprints ending at your bed. You lost your house, but gained a new excuse: to sleep with pigs. You tried crossbreeding species. Thought mixing a Triceratops and an iguanodon would give you an obedient Trichodonte? Locked them together for days. Oh, they did not get along. The result was a horrible creature with 3 horns, 0 patience, and acid flatulence. It screamed for hours, then bit the moon. You named it Divine Mistake. You thought tail wagging meant love. An Apatosaurus wagged its tail when it saw you. You smiled, waved, and walked closer. One day it turned too fast. You woke up 2 weeks later covered in mud with 7 new ribs. Moral of the story: dino tales aren't affection, they're apocalyptic. You tried tying up a Spinosaurus with vines, braided a 48-meter leash over 3 days. At the moment of putting it on, it just blinked and yeeted you into the swamp. You were adopted by Jurassic capybaras and never tried leashes again. You opened the first dinosaur training school, named Dynadog Behavior and Bites. First student, 1 very grumpy Ceratosaurus. First class, sit and stay. He sat on the assistant instructor. Second class, canceled due to lack of survivors. Third class, you alone, training a rock. Best class ever. You taught a dinosaur to fetch. You threw a tree trunk. He came back with a squished boar, a live bear, and your mom, who had been missing for 2 weeks, grateful. You tried to keep the bear. The bear disagreed. You made history as the reason for extinction. Your experiments got out of hand. Domesticated dinos started destroying forests, fighting each other, and marking territory on the volcano. The ecological balance collapsed. The sky darkened. Plants died. The meteor came and landed. Directly on your stable, your epitaph was carved into a rock no one reads anymore. Here lies the first dinosaur trainer, tamed. 0, extincted. All, but tried bravely and irresponsibly.